Sometimes in life, things do not go to plan. And if you are separating or getting divorced right now, that is probably the case for you. If you are in that position, my friend, I can assure you I have been there. About 10 years ago in my life, I separated and got divorced, and it was one of the most difficult times of my life. It really took me a long time to understand and to process the emotions and the reality of what I was going through, and it took me a lot longer than it should have if I could have accepted some of the realities that I'm going to talk about with you today. Now, I'm not trying to say that I can solve all your problems or heal your pain, but understanding the realities that are happening under the surface can sometimes help you to move through it faster and to heal in a much healthier way. I do want to say here, I'm not a therapist or a psychologist. I am a man who has been through his own journey of divorce and done a lot of personal development, a lot of therapy, and has found his way over a long period of time, as you will as well. And these ideas are just here as suggestions. They're not here as advice or to try and help you to solve everything immediately. Take it with a grain of salt, but I hope that they help you. Reality of divorce number 1. Nobody leaves a good marriage. The reason you are separating or getting divorced is because you had a bad marriage. You and your partner both agreed, reluctantly probably, but you finally agreed that being in the marriage was worse than separating and divorcing. That is a harsh truth to have to accept and to admit that you somehow have failed as a partner, or your partner has failed you, and to face up to it and to realize that you were in a bad marriage. Nobody goes into a marriage thinking that it's going to fail. Everyone thinks they're going to give it their very best and they will be the one that succeeds. But the truth is, in your instance, it did not work out and it ended up being a bad marriage. I'm speaking from direct experience here too. I went through the same situation. I felt a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, a lot of anger about the fact that my marriage ended, but the truth was that nobody leaves a good marriage. Reality number 2, you may not like them, but you still miss them. This is probably one of the weirdest things that you have to process as someone who's going through a separation or a divorce, is that even though you probably don't like or don't want to be around the person who you're getting divorced from, you still miss them in some ways. You shared a lot of your life together. You had a lot of memories, a lot of experiences, a lot of transformative times together. And now that person is not in your life day to day, and that is a change of reality for you and for them. They are missing you, you are missing them, but both of you are better separate from each other. That is a tough thing to have to accept. It's dual emotions happening at once. You feel annoyance and anger and frustration at the person, and you understand that it's not a good match for you, but you also have this sense of missing them and wanting to share things with them. And it's a very hard thing to navigate, especially in the early days. Weird reality, but one of the most important ones to understand and to accept as you're going through your separation or your divorce. Reality number 3, there is no justice or fairness. Ooh, this is a tough one, my friend. If you feel that you were unfairly treated or that you deserve justice in your relationship in some way, I want to tell you that it's probably not coming. The other person is probably not going to admit that they were wrong, that they did the wrong thing by you, or that they treated you unfairly or harshly. The truth is, you may well have been treated unfairly or poorly, and you may deserve justice, but you're probably not going to get it. You're going to have to accept that the other person is going to move on without making amends and apologizing to you or trying to find a way to make you feel better. They are just not going to do that. They are dealing with their own pain, their own resistance, their own resentment about you, and you are doing the same thing about them. Trying to seek for justice or for resolution of an unfair situation, it's just not coming. It's better to accept that justice and fairness is not a reality when you're getting divorced and realize that you're going to have to move on without having it. Reality number 4, separation is a time for self-care. Now, I don't mean self-improvement. I mean self-care. There is a difference. Very often, especially men, when we get divorced or we break up from a relationship, the first thing we do is go and hit the gym. We start reading self-improvement books. We start trying to date frenetically. We do all these things because we want to prove how great of a person we are and how much the other person made a mistake. The truth is, you are doing this out of ego, not out of a healthy place. When you are hurting, it's like having a physical wound on your body. You need to take the time to let it heal. If you try and exert yourself, the wound will not heal. It's the same thing with your emotions. If you're forcing yourself to try and improve or to change your life drastically in the first couple of weeks or months or even year after you separate or get divorced, the likelihood is that it will prolong your pain a lot longer. The most important thing that you can do is to take self-care. That means resting, recuperating, grieving, going through your emotions, maybe doing some therapy, spending time with friends and family, people who have your best interests at heart. Separation is a time for self-care, not self-improvement. Go easy on yourself, take the time you need, and you will feel better a lot faster. And reality number 5 is that you can find love again. To be clear here, I'm not saying that you will find love again, but you can find love again. Many people, including me, have got remarried after they got divorced. It took me over a decade to find the right person after I first got divorced, and I went through a lot of false starts and a lot of mistakes and a lot of frustrations and even more heartbreaks. But finally I met the right person, and it only happened because I stayed on the path of believing that I would. You can find love again in your life if you believe it's available for you. Many people, when they first get divorced, are completely burnt out on relationships and caring for other people, and that is okay. You may wonder if you will ever meet someone new ever again. That's okay. I promise you, over time, as your wounds heal and your emotions start to calm, you can meet someone, you can find love again, if you're willing to put yourself out there and to keep persisting and believing that it's available for you. Separation and divorce are one of the most difficult things that a person has to go through, and there is no right way or right timeline that you have to follow to make it work for you. If you can manage to be present to how you're feeling and experiencing life as it's happening to you, you will find that it helps you to process your emotions and to heal in a healthy way. My friend, I've been where you are right now. It took me a long time to overcome the pain and to heal in a healthy way. I promise you that that will happen for you in time, but you have to hang in there. You have to have faith in yourself, and you have to know that what you're going through will lead you to a better phase of life. I hope these ideas have been useful for you. Thank you for watching, and most of all, thank you for taking care of yourself.